Today we're going to look inside the New Balance FuelCell TC. Now this is the training and competition shoe from New Balance. Carbon fiber is all the rage in 2020 for any shoe that is really a fast or performance shoe. This shoe is no different. It has a carbon fiber plate in it. A lot of rubber, a lot of foam, really soft. It's kind of heavy for training, so it might not be the thing you're going to lace up for really short, fast races. Also, a little history on New Balance. This is the FuelCell training and competition shoe. They started their concept with a miler shoe, which I have here and I've worn. This thing fits like a slipper. There's very little underfoot. You can see they tried to carve away as much as possible, and it was all about grip for going the mile. This was the 5280, which is the feet in a mile. Again, a carbon fiber plate, the same kind of foam they're using in all their FuelCell shoes in this line of their performance shoes. It's a nitrogen infused TPU foam, which is gonna be really soft and bouncy. We're gonna take a look at that once we cut it up. One thing in common with all of the FuelCell shoes is the bulge here on the lateral side. And that's because when you come in and land, you land on the outer edge of your foot a little bit and roll inward. So they've given you this little bit of extra platform out here. You can see it stick out just a little bit, and that just smooths that landing, especially if you're hitting midfoot. On the 5280, it was even more exaggerated because at mile speeds, you're really coming in, you're not touching on your heel, so you don't get the typical roll. So you can see the shape here, it really flares out to the edge. So when you land on that soft foam, it just conforms and flexes and then takes you smoothly in toward your big toe, although it's more geared for training. So let's cut this shoe up and see what's inside. All right, so let's take a look inside the New Balance FuelCell TC. This is a fun shoe. It's a little bit heavy, and this TPU foam is pretty bouncy, and there's a lot of it here. You look underneath the heel there. This is the carbon fiber plate running the length of the shoe there. And you can see there's a lot of foam there underneath that plate. Not so much underneath the forefoot, but the plate does have a common shape that we've seen in Saucony shoes, in Nike shoes. It's closer up under the heel, further down, closer to the ground in the forefoot. Gives you that comfort when you're toeing off, but really gives you that cushioning and protection when you land, so you don't feel the stiffness from that plate there in the back half of the shoe. Otherwise, the construction is pretty simple. It's a training shoe, as I said, so the upper is really pretty rigid and stiff here. It's not gonna stretch a lot. It's not real thin either. So it's going to give you a lot of structure and support as you're training. And then you get a lot of padding through the back of the shoe. You get a little bit of a structure here in the heel cup. It's not a traditional heel counter, but there is a little plastic and stiffness in there to sort of lock your heel back in here. It is padded, but it curves away from your Achilles, so it's not going to cause any kind of problems there. Again, there's a lot of rubber underneath the foot. You can see that whole forefoot is covered all the way to the midfoot. It's not too thick though. So while we think it's a little bit bottom heavy and that rubber contributed, it's not a really thick slab. There's just enough there to give you a lot of traction. This rubber was actually pretty sticky. It was gripping the base of the bandsaw a lot too. I could feel it really dragging as I was trying to push the shoe through the bandsaw. So that's some really sticky rubber underneath there that you're making connection with the road. And then there are a couple little patches here. You can see also a really thin patch in the heel that wraps around. That's really just for durability in case you are heel striking back there and landing on that gob of foam back there. The FuelCell TC is out now. It's gonna set you back $200. And I wanna know, are you training in it? Do you have any questions about it? Do you wanna lace it up for training runs or races? Let me know. Leave your questions and comments in the comments below. And don't forget to hit subscribe so you don't miss a thing from Runner's World.